Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Kaylee. For all of my new subscribers and viewers, I do apologize. It has been a few months since I have posted. I feel awful about it, but I've had a few life-changing events that have popped up in my life lately. So the first one was my husband and I moved. We recently moved in. We are almost settled. So it's given me more time to film. During that time period, you guys know how it is when you're moving. It's stressful, chaotic, everything's a mess, you have no idea where everything is, and it just would have been bad quality videos. I would have been stressed in them. Half the time I wasn't wearing makeup, and it wouldn't have been good. As is, I'm still learning filming and editing. I just didn't want to put bad videos out for you guys. I really do care about the videos that I post. So when I post a video, I have put a lot of time and effort in it. Like, I've already filmed this video 20 times and I'm still committed. So bear with me. It's been a long time since I filmed, so I'm trying not to be so awkward. The other and the whole reason for this video, it's the most exciting thing and biggest life changer, is I'm pregnant. My husband and I found out that we were expecting our first baby on April 15th. So during that time, I totally planned on filming a video right after the first trimester. But then the move came up, so a lot just kind of happened at once. But better late than never. I am 21 weeks pregnant, and this is my first pregnancy vlog. I plan to do these weekly, even if I don't give you a huge pregnancy update, because trust me, there just has not been a lot of changes. I feel like the most changes has happened actually recently. But I will share baby items with you, reviews of what we buy, just my thoughts, everything with you guys. I do want to put the disclaimer out there for those of you who subscribed for my beauty related videos. I still plan to do those. Beauty is part of my everyday life. I love makeup. And I love just getting dressed up and things like that. So I will still have those videos. But the other thing is, whatever you guys want to see, just put those in the comments below. Any questions, any video suggestions, I am all ears. Just go ahead and leave those in the comments below. So if you want to see this pregnancy vlog, go ahead and keep watching. And if not, I totally understand if you're not pregnant or you're just not into this kind of video, go ahead and exit out. I will have a beauty video for you guys soon. So for this video, I figured it'd be easier if I go through categories or little sections and kind of break it up so it's not super long of me rambling on about random things, because with it being a while since I filmed, that could happen easily. And if you have any questions about anything I didn't cover or I didn't go into full detail on, then go ahead and leave those down below and I will answer them as soon as possible. The first thing is I am 21 weeks pregnant. I switch over on Tuesdays, so this coming Tuesday I will be 22 weeks. And my due date is December 15th. How we found out was my husband and I were trying. And I will say my cycles have always been like clockwork, except for when we started to try, my cycles would actually start being a couple days late. They never really went past 2 or 3 days late, but they started doing something weird. So we have been trying for 6 months, and it really is true. Once you kind of give up the whole actively trying thing and just let it be, that's when it happens. When you kind of forget about it, that's literally when it happens, because that's exactly what happened for us. I was just like, you know what, it'll happen when it happens. I was starting to really get into planning YouTube videos and just really focusing on myself and my husband, and that's when it happened. We went away for a drill, and I totally stocked up and packed for that time of the month. I knew it was coming. And when I was a few days late, I was like, okay, you know, that happened before, no big deal. But then I started kind of questioning, because it had been like 5 days, and I knew. I don't know how I knew, but I knew. And I decided that I would take a test. And my husband knew I had the test, but he went to bed. I had said that we would take it in the morning before he went to work. And the months before, there's a couple times I would take a test because, like I said, my cycle started to make me late, and I had never been late before. And it's really disappointing to see negative when you're trying. So I didn't want to feel disappointed again, and I already hated that he knew I had a test because I didn't want him disappointed, just all of that stuff. I'm sure if you've gone through the same thing, you kind of understand. And so I decided I was just going to take the test at like midnight. I just wanted to take it. So he was asleep. I decided to take it, and literally in a few seconds, it straight up said pregnant on it. I was so excited. I was shaking. It literally was the best feeling in the world. And I went into our bedroom and I woke him up, and all I could say was baby. I was just repeating baby, baby, baby. And he just had the biggest smile on his face. I'll never forget the look on my husband's face, and he was so excited. We both were. I will say, try not to take pregnancy tests at like midnight, because as soon as it says pregnant, you are so excited, you are shaking, or at least I was, and it was hard to go to sleep and turn off my brain during that point. So I would say it's best to take it in the morning or during a time where you have a few hours to just kind of let it soak in and not be like shaking trying to go to bed. So that is how we found out. After we found out that we were pregnant, we scheduled our consultation with the birthing center in our area. My husband and I decided a long time ago that we did not want to do the hospital route, that we wanted to do more of the natural birthing center, home birth, that type of route. And so we scheduled our consultation. We loved them, we established care with them, and I did my first prenatal blood work, and I did that at the consultation just to make sure things were okay, because if there was anything I needed to start taking, I wanted to take it as soon as possible. And there were a few vitamin deficiencies. They were magnesium, B12, vitamin D, and they got me on a good prenatal. A lot of prenatals have folic acid in them, which is synthetic of folate. So you have to try to be careful. The ones that you find at like Target, or even some of them at like Mama Jeans and stuff, they will have folate in them, or folic acid, and you want folate. So I will show you all of my vitamins that I take, especially because there was a magnesium and zinc that I just could not take. I had to find the right one. So I'll show you what I take after I tell you the rest of this. The other thing, and the most important thing that I have low, which a lot of people can have low during their first trimester, is progesterone. It is very important that you don't have low progesterone, because that can cause miscarriages, and that's what tends to be the issue, is you either won't get tested right away or anything like that, and you'll miscarry in your first trimester. Also, it can be a sign of infertility if you have low progesterone. So there are a few medicines that you can take. I've heard people take shots. I've heard there's like lotions and things like that. I had to take a very personal medicine for the first little bit. I am off of that now and just take oral. So there's that. But I was very thankful that my midwives do test for that, because mine was so low that I did have to take the personal one. And that ups my levels very well, very quick. And then at one point my levels kind of stopped, and they weren't going up, but they were high where it was okay. But they decided to put me on the oral with it. But now my levels are over the optimal amount, so I just have to take the oral. And the only reason why I'm still on the oral progesterone is because my family has history of miscarriages. So with midwives, the amazing part about them is, because they're not a hospital, they like to look into everything and make sure that everything is checking out, making sure that you are good. And so with my family history, they just want to make sure that my placenta is truly working and doing the progesterone for me now, and not going to fail at any moment. So that's an amazing thing about them. The other thing that they recently tested was my zinc levels. So they did tell me to go ahead and start a supplement with that because I guess mine was a little bit low, as well as my thyroid. It's in normal range, but it just is never the same levels. So they went ahead and put me on a natural thyroid medicine called Armor Thyroid. So I'll go ahead and show you all the supplements that I take. So if you need to take any of these are the ones that I take. And if I'm horrible at swallowing pills, so these ones, they're the best ones that I could find, and they don't taste bad. I can swallow them. I do recommend swallowing them with juice. Juice helps a lot. Apple juice particularly, because orange juice is a little bit thick, but I can't swallow these with just water. So if you're hard at swallowing anything, get juice. It helps. As far as symptoms went for the first trimester, I didn't have morning sickness, and I know for those of you who are going through morning sickness or went through morning sickness, you probably hate me for saying that, but I didn't have it. I didn't really feel nauseous. I didn't have any food aversions. I don't really care to have Asian food. Every now and then I really crave it, but I really don't care to have it. It's mostly Italian or Mexican or like American. So I didn't have morning sickness, no food aversions. I did have extreme fatigue. I was super tired, more at the end of the first trimester, not as soon as we found out, it's more toward the end. I was bloated, my boobs were sore, and felt heavy, more heavy than super sore. I didn't really have that don't touch it kind of thing, but they were super heavy. And like I said, I was super bloated. I had extreme hormonal acne. I literally looked like I was going through puberty or something. And I've never really had acne like down here or anything like that. It's always been like one little there, or like when I would get my eyebrows waxed or things like that. So that was extremely weird for me, and I really hated it because there's nothing you can do about hormonal acne. It's there and you can't do anything about it. But those were my main symptoms. Toward the end of my first trimester, I started kind of getting the round ligament pain, or just kind of soreness in my stomach. Also, I did have a little bit of cramping when we found out I was pregnant. Not super bad, but kind of that you feel like you're gonna start, but you're not. So I did have that, but that has gone away. We're totally good with that now. That went away pretty much after, I would say after a week after I found out that I was pregnant. So, but yeah, I think that was pretty much all my symptoms in the first trimester. I didn't really have a lot. Mostly tired and acne and the boobs. That was pretty much it. So yeah, and this week my symptoms are starting to get a little weird. I did have, during the second trimester, so a few weeks ago and up to now, I did have bleeding gums. So when you brush your teeth, your gums kind of bleed. That's so fun. And my nose has been like stuffy or kind of irritated, and it's not allergies, it's pretty much all the time a little stuffy or just off. And I've always heard with pregnancy your nose can be a little weird. And shortness of breath. So if I sound a little out of breath, that is why. But this week, and a little bit of last week, I've experienced hip pain. So, like, kind of lower back, but it's like the lower back of your hip. That's been hurting on my right side. So I'm guessing our baby likes to just chill out there. I did look it up because it was getting pretty bad. It's like not the kind of pain that you can work out or anything like that. It's like a nerve pain. And it started to even affect my sleep. So I slept better the past couple nights, but it was getting to a point where turning over or anything like that, I had a pillow between my legs. It was starting to hurt really bad. So I Googled it because I'm like, what is this? Is this normal? Should I be concerned? And it's completely normal in your second and your third trimester, especially your third, is what I've heard. Which, being at 21 weeks, we're getting closer to the third trimester. So I looked it up, and either the baby's favoring that side or the baby is on your sciatic nerve. So it's called sciatica, I think is how you say it. So it's a lot of fun stuff there. But that is pretty much all my symptoms. Just the normal things. I pretty much have all these symptoms except for morning sickness. I've also had, I would say, I just remembered, see, this is where it gets a little crazy when you're trying to remember things, leg cramping. So it kind of feels like you have a Charlie horse in your sleep. And the best way just to, you know, fix that, I mean, get your potassium and bananas, but also flex your foot. Don't point when it happens, because if you point, it's gonna hurt worse. So when it happens or you feel it coming on, just flex your foot the best that you can. And then dry eyes. I've had a little bit of dryness in my eyes. So some days I do just not wear makeup because it's just so dry, it's so irritated, it just hurts. So, yeah, other than that, everything else is pretty much normal. I've been feeling pretty good. I would say though, a lot of people talk about the second trimester having like all this energy, and I've been pretty steady. I wouldn't say I've like gotten this super crazy amount of energy or anything like that. I'm pretty like normal, the same. I feel like lately I've actually, and it's probably just because we moved and stuff, but I've actually gone back to feeling tired all the time. But again, I'm kind of thinking that's because we moved, we're in a new area, and it was just kind of a lot of stress at that time. So that is it for my symptoms. So now that I've covered pretty much my symptoms and everything from the first trimester, like I said, not a lot really happened in the first trimester or even early second trimesters. So now let's just go ahead and skip to this week. This is the 21 weeks of pregnancy, and I will say I do keep track of everything in a pregnancy journal. This is just a normal little journal that I picked up from, I want to say Target. Yeah, Target or Hobby Lobby, one of those. And it's just a normal, you know, lined notebook. So how I write in this is I write what my app tells me is going on with the baby. So how big he or she is, and what he or she is growing or doing, and just everything like that. I write that down, I write my symptoms, and then I write a list of things. So I'm sure you've seen the list on blogs or other pregnancy vlogs, and if you haven't, then I'm awesome to be your first of this list. Maybe I'll give you an idea if you are pregnant or become pregnant, to kind of keep track of what's going on. I think it's also really cool to do this for your first pregnancy, so if you plan to have more babies, you kind of can tell what's different, or you just kind of know what to expect for yourself. So yeah, I'll just go through the list and I will tell you what he or she is doing this week. The app that I like the best, I've used like 3 or 4 different apps, but I always go back to the Bump, and that's the one that I write in this journal with. So the Bump app is the best. I have it on my phone. I will go ahead and show you this week's and tell you what he or she is doing. Now let's answer questions for this week. The first question, I kind of want to take this out, but I know some people are curious, and that's totally fine. I will put it out there. I don't care about it, but I just want to put the disclaimer, no one judge. Don't feel bad about yourself. Don't judge others. Just your doctor or you will know exactly how much weight or measurements you should be doing. So just keep that in mind. I have gained 4 pounds. I started at 130 and I am 134 now. But I do know that doesn't sound like a lot. Our baby though is measuring right on track. Every ultrasound we've had, our baby is exactly to the week, to the day, pretty much. And then when they measured my bump for the first time at my 18-week appointment, our baby was actually measuring a week ahead, or my bump was. So when they do the measurements, you're supposed to be either the week that you are, or give or take a couple of weeks. So I was actually measuring a week ahead. So even though I thought the weight gain wasn't a lot at that time, and I did talk to my midwife about it, she just told me it matters in the measurements. Weight does not matter, measurements do. So just keep that in mind. Your doctor will tell you that everything is okay for you. Just don't worry about what's on the scale. I just want to put that disclaimer out there, so there we go. Maternity clothes, yes. I purchased a few shirts toward the end of my first trimester. I just was so bloated. I'm a tall person, so whenever I'm bloated, and then I was doing the like ponytail or rubber band trick on your jeans, that was showing with certain shirts I had. So I went ahead and went to Target and purchased some shirts, and if you want to see those shirts, just let me know in the comments below, and I will do kind of like a maternity clothes haul or model them for you kind of thing, whatever you guys want to see, like a lookbook. I can definitely do that. Of course I still have them, and I'm pretty sure Target doesn't really change their lines that much, so I'm pretty sure I've seen them at Target still. If not, they have things like it. I also bought dresses that weren't maternity, but they work. So if you want to see those too, just let me know. I did recently purchase maternity jeans. I have purchased some shorts, but I hadn't purchased jeans yet. So I was doing that hair tie trick like all the time. And so like last week my husband was like, let's go ahead and buy you some jeans. So I did get some new maternity clothes. I will probably get some more shirts for winter because I kind of only have short sleeve shirts and like tank tops, which I can kind of make work for fall, but when it gets really cold, I just don't think that will work. I don't think it'll be because my bump is too big. I think it'll just be it's not the right clothes for the season. So yeah, if you want to see a lookbook, just let me know in the comments below or give this video a thumbs up. Stretch marks. I think I have a little one on my boob. I think I finally found one. I don't have any on my belly. I do know that. And I do have some kind of on the top of my thighs, but those ones were already there from just growing. I think just like naturally growing, you know, you fluctuate weight and stuff. So those ones though I feel like have gotten more pronounced, but I don't think I have any new ones. So I think the only one is the possible one that I think is on my boob. It's really small, so it's kind of hard to tell, but as of right now, that's the only one that I know of. I do use a stretch mark cream from Burt's Bees. It's the Mama Bee, I think is what it's called, and it's unscented. I think they have it at Target. I purchased mine from Mama Jeans, so any health store will probably have it, or anyone that carries Burt's Bees. The next question is sleep, and sleep was going great until this week. It's not that I can't fall asleep, because I literally can fall asleep at like 8 or 9 o'clock, and then I've been getting up earlier, which is really weird. But sleep, the thing that's been happening this week is just because of my hip pain, that anytime I want to switch positions, it really hurts to do so. And I've tried sleeping with a pillow in between my legs and all of that stuff, and it still hurts. And unfortunately, I keep wanting to sleep on my back because of it, but that's just not good for you to do that. So trying to find a side to sleep on and which angle is pretty annoying at nighttime. But I do manage to sleep, and once I'm asleep, I'm good. It's just trying to get comfortable. I do think it's starting to get better because last night when I slept, I fell asleep pretty fast and it was pretty good. So, and I woke up feeling a little bit better. So hopefully our baby has moved or shifted and that's just kind of subsided for a bit. Let's hope. Fingers crossed, right? Best moment of the week. Now sometimes for me this isn't always pregnancy related, but the best moment was settling into our home, finally being moved and just being able to relax with my husband and our fur baby Chloe, and just finally taking a break to actually feel some baby kicks and all that stuff. So that was definitely the best moment of this week. Miss anything? So I would have to say sweet tea. I always put this down, but I always miss a lot of sweet tea. I do drink it because you are allowed a little bit of caffeine, but I literally, before I got pregnant, would drink it with like every meal. So not being able to drink sweet tea is driving me crazy, especially once you've drank so much water. All you want is like flavored drinks, so I always want sweet tea. So there's my sweet tea rant. That's pretty much the only thing though that I tend to miss. Other than that, I wasn't like a coffee drinker, or I didn't drink alcohol or anything like that, so I don't really miss any of those things. So the next question is movement. Now, my midwife has told me that my placenta is to the front of my uterus, so that means I don't feel super strong kicks or a lot of movement all the time like most people are at this time of pregnancy, but I do feel some movement. So I typically feel it whenever I am sitting down or laying down and not walking around, and I feel it toward the lower part of my belly. So it kind of feels like it's probably just our baby's arms, or just, you know, our baby wiggling. No big kicks or anything, but it just feels like someone kind of nudging you from the inside. So a little kind of flutter, or whatever you want to call it, just kind of like a little nudge. Next question is cravings. So this week my cravings are probably just pizza and chocolate. Every night I pretty much want chocolate. It was really funny because at the beginning of my pregnancy, you know, people always tell you, oh, your chocolate cravings or your sweet cravings are going to be bigger than even like that time of the month. But I didn't really get that till like last week. And it was really funny because one week I really craved Starburst. And it probably was just the sugar, because Starburst is usually not my go-to. I mean, I love them, but not like love them. They're not my first option. So it was really weird that I did crave Starburst. But I wouldn't say I've had like these, I definitely need this kind of thing, you know. I haven't made my husband per se go to the store except for Starburst that one time. That was the only one. So yeah, food cravings would probably be pizza, which we did have, so that's kind of gone. And then sweet tea, like I just did my rant, I always want sweet tea. So yeah, that's probably it. Anything making me queasy or sick? The only thing that I was having troubles with was my zinc supplement. That was really hard to swallow, and the issue with not being able to swallow it is it dissolves fast and it tastes really gross. So I had to find a different zinc supplement, and I was able to find one that I so far have been able to swallow and had no problems with. So thank goodness for finding a different one, or else I would have been really screwed, because I'm just the worst at swallowing things, and it was disgusting. I started to not take it because just the thought of it, it was like a game, like I had to prep myself for it, and it was just awful. So I really do suggest trying to find the right supplement, the right brand, the right size. Find your tricks to take it. Like I said, mine is apple juice. That's the best way I can take things. So if you're not happy with something, don't just not take it, try to find the right one. Have you started to show yet? Yes. I know I'm not like super big or anything. I do have a long torso, but definitely this week I feel like baby is sticking out. I feel like I definitely have a noticeable belly, and the past couple weeks I do know I look pregnant because I've had a few people congratulate me or just bring it up like strangers have. So I would definitely say yes, I am showing. The gender, I will post a video of our gender reveal soon so that you guys can know. But yes, we do know what we're having. Labor signs are a no-go. Thank goodness our sweet little baby is still cooking and definitely has a few more weeks to cook. Belly button in or out? It is in, but it has definitely changed. Yeah, it's looking a little weird, but it is definitely in. Wedding rings on or off? Wedding rings are still on. Happy or moody? I am definitely happy most of the time. I wouldn't say I've had any weird moodiness where I'm just angry or upset. Usually if I'm angry or upset, it's like normal circumstances. So I would say definitely happy. The last question is, what am I looking forward to? I have a couple of things. One, I am looking forward to announcing the gender to you guys. And the second thing is I'm definitely looking forward to our next doctor's appointment, which is next week. I'm excited to hear our baby's heartbeat again, to know that our baby is growing strong and just healthy. And I don't know, I always feel better when I go to the doctor and just, it's like another progress report, and just, I feel like you just feel more connected to your baby when you go to those appointments. So I'm super excited about that, and that's definitely what I am looking forward to this week. And now I'll show you my bump for 21 weeks.